Today, a new you is rising. You've spent too long letting people have access to your peace. Too long allowing people to hurt you just because you love them. Too long blaming yourself for the way they treated you. But let me ask you something real. Let me talk to your heart for a moment. There are moments in life when the world goes quiet, not because it's peaceful, but because pain has swallowed all the noise. You know what I mean. Those nights when your pillow holds more tears than sleep. When the people you thought would stay walk away. When life doesn't just knock you down, it stomps on your spirit. And in those moments, it's not always about strength. Sometimes it's just about survival. Sometimes it's about holding on when you don't even know what you're holding on for. But I'm here to tell you something you may have forgotten in the storm. You are still here. You woke up today. That means purpose still lives inside you. That means the story ain't over. You've been through storms nobody saw. You've cried in silence when the world kept laughing. You smiled in front of the world, but inside you were breaking into pieces. Let me tell you something right now. That pain, it ends here. That cycle, it breaks today. That version of you who kept getting hurt, ignored, abandoned, used, walked on, that version is gone. See, life doesn't hand you hard times to break you. It gives you hard times to shape you, to prepare you, to strip away what's weak and call forth what's strong. And you, yes you, are stronger than you know. Stronger than your scars, stronger than your past, stronger than the silence. Now let's talk about how we rise, how we handle hard times. Let me ask you something real, something raw. When life punches you in the mouth, what do? Do you clench your fist and fight back? Or do you curl up and wait for it to be over? I'm not talking about theory right now, I'm talking about life, real life. The kind of pain that don't care about your schedule. The kind of loss that don't wait until you're ready. And I get it. It's easier to run. It's easier to distract yourself, to numb it, to pretend it's not happening. But the truth is, pain doesn't go away just because you avoid it. Storms don't pass because you hid in the basement. They pass when you walk through them. And it's in that walking through the wind, through the rain, through the mess, that something powerful happens inside you. That's when survival turns into strength. That's when fear turns into fight. You ever seen a tree that's never had to fight the wind? It grows tall, yeah, but it's weak. Its roots are shallow, and the moment life hits it, bam, it's on the ground. Now think about the tree that's faced storms, one after another. That tree might be scarred, its bark worn, branches broken, but its roots run deep. You see, when we face the storm, instead of running, our roots go deeper. We learn things about ourselves we never knew. We find out what we're made of. But you don't get there by running. You don't get there by hiding from the truth. You get there by standing in the wind, shaking and scared, and saying, I'm still here. That's not weakness. That's real strength. I know some of y'all are in a storm right now. Some of y'all walked in here with a smile on your face, but chaos in your soul. Maybe your job's falling apart. Maybe your family is breaking. Maybe your dreams feel like dust. And I'm not here to tell you it's going to magically get better tomorrow. What I am here to tell you is, don't run. Don't bury it. Don't fake it. Walk through it. Cry if you need to. Scream if you must. But walk through it. Because the only way out is through. And if you don't go through it, you never grow through it. I want you to remember something. The storm is not your enemy. I know it feels like it. I know it feels like the storm came to destroy everything you've built. But sometimes the storm comes to clear out what was never meant to stay. Sometimes it comes to strip away the distractions, the false security, the noise, so you can finally hear the sound of your own voice. So you can finally meet yourself. And when you meet yourself in the storm, you realize something. You are not powerless. You are not fragile. You are not the broken thing you thought you were. You're a warrior who forgot their strength. And don't let people rush your process. Don't let the world pressure you into pretending you're fine when you're still bleeding. Healing isn't a race. It's not a public performance. It's a sacred, private, often messy journey. So if you're in the storm and you're moving slow, good, keep moving. If all you did today was breathe, good. That means you're still in the fight. And don't be ashamed of your tears. Don't be ashamed of your scars. They're not signs of weakness. They're proof that you've lived, that you felt deeply, that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Sometimes facing the storm means facing yourself. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Not the world, not the bills, not the job, but you. Facing the part of you that's afraid, the part that feels like a failure, the part that wants to quit. And I know that's scary, but here's the truth. That version of you, the one that's broken, wounded, ashamed, that version still deserves love, still deserves grace. You don't need to be fully healed to be worthy. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to show up. Heart open, fists unclenched, and face it. Let me remind you of this. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And some of the strongest souls you'll ever meet walk through hell barefoot with tears in their eyes and still smiled at the sunrise. You're not soft because you're struggling. You're human. And if you can learn to see the storm not as a curse, but as a classroom, everything changes. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That's when you begin to rise, not just from the storm, but through it. Running from the pain won't stop it from coming back. In fact, it usually comes back louder, stronger, and more unforgiving. People always say time heals everything, right? Let me tell you something. Time doesn't heal what you refuse to confront. Time only gives you space. What you do with that space is up to you. If you spend it pretending, numbing, distracting, then years can go by and you'll still be standing in the same emotional place wearing a different outfit, calling it growth. But it ain't growth. Growth happens when you look that fear, that hurt, that betrayal right in the face and say, let's deal with this. That's when the healing starts. That's when the chains begin to break. That's when you stop surviving and start living again. See, life don't care who you are. Hard times don't discriminate. It'll come for the rich, the poor, the kind-hearted, the strong, the weak. Pain don't check resumes. Don't care about your GPA. Don't care how many followers you got. But how you respond, that is where you reclaim your power. That's where you separate the ones who rise from the ones who stay buried. And you don't need to be perfect to rise. You don't need to be fearless to stand tall. You just need to decide, I won't let this break me. I might bend, I might bleed, I might fall to my knees, but I will rise. That's when you begin to rise, not just from the storm, but through it. You carry your lessons with you. You carry your power. So the next time the storm shows up, because it will, don't panic, don't run, don't shrink. Plant your feet, straighten your back, look it square in the eye and say, you don't scare me anymore. I've walked through worse. I've cried harder. I've fallen deeper. And yet here I am. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of courage that rewrites legacies. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to refuse to quit. The storm may shake you, but it will not take you, because you've learned how to face it. And facing it changes everything. Let me say something that might sound strange to some of y'all. Faith is not soft. Faith is not weak. Faith ain't just some sweet little idea you pull out when life is going well and the sun is shining. No, faith is a weapon. Faith is what you swing when you don't have anything else left. Faith is what you use when the walls are closing in and you can't see no way out. I'm not talking about blind optimism. I'm talking about the deep, unshakable belief that even if everything around you is falling apart, something greater is holding you together. You can't fight life's battles with wishes. Wishes are nice, but they don't move mountains. Faith does. And if your faith is real, if it's planted deep in your chest, you can walk through hell and still come out whole. Some folks confuse faith with fantasy. They think faith means everything's going to go smooth, nothing bad's going to happen, and life is supposed to be easy if you just believe. But let me tell you something. Faith doesn't keep the storm from coming. Faith teaches you how to stand in it. Real faith ain't afraid to get wet. Real faith ain't scared to bleed a little. Faith doesn't mean you don't cry. It means you cry and keep walking. It means you're scared, but you step forward anyway. You don't use faith to escape reality. You use faith to face it, to challenge it, to rise through it with a fire in your bones that says, I will not be moved. That's the kind of faith I'm talking about. When you carry faith like a weapon, it's not just in your words, it's in your walk. It's in the way you carry yourself, even when everything inside you is breaking. Faith tells you you don't have to see it to believe it. That's hard for the world to understand. The world wants proof, the world wants guarantees, but faith says, I don't need a guarantee. I've got grace. And grace has carried people further than any plan ever could. Some of you are trying to map out every detail of life, every step, every answer. But faith will have you walking into rooms you're not qualified for. Faith will have you dreaming beyond what you've seen. Faith will push you when your logic says stop. And if you trust it, really trust it, you don't need 1,000 reasons to believe. You just need one. One reason to keep going. One reason to get up again. And when you don't have that reason, faith becomes the reason. Faith will tell you this isn't the end. Faith will whisper, there's more ahead. And sometimes that whisper is louder than 1,000 voices telling you to quit. Don't ever underestimate what your belief can do. You may not see the breakthrough yet. You may not feel the healing yet. But faith says, keep going, it's already done. That's not denial, that's power. That's speaking victory in the middle of the battle. That's what it means to use faith as a weapon. Let me ask you something. What do you lean on when life falls apart? What's your anchor when the waves get high? Because if you're leaning on your own strength, I promise you, it will run out. That strength, it's temporary. That money, that job, that title, all temporary. But faith, real faith, is eternal. It shows up when everything else disappears. That's why some people with nothing still have peace, while others with everything are crumbling inside. Faith brings a kind of peace that this world can't understand, and it sure can't take away. That peace comes from knowing that even in the unknown, you're not alone. That someone greater, something bigger is walking with you through every step of your storm. Listen to me. Some of y'all have been fighting life with open wounds and tired hands, and I honor you for that. But now it's time to pick up your weapon, your real weapon. Not pride, not control, not fear, but faith. Because the enemy don't care about your talent. He don't care how loud you shout. He's not scared of your Instagram, your bank account, or your accolades. But he gets nervous, real nervous, when you start walking in faith. Will you start praising in pain? Will you start believing when there's no evidence? Will you start declaring truth when the facts look ugly? That's when the atmosphere shifts. That's when chains break. That's when doors open. Faith doesn't mean you always feel strong. It means even when you feel weak, you choose to trust. You might be shaking, you might be tired, you might be on your knees, but you say, I still believe. That's power. That's what makes demons tremble. That's what makes hopelessness take a step back. Because when you choose faith over fear, over logic, over doubt, you tap into something eternal, something unbreakable. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Faith walks into the fire not because it wants to burn, but because it knows who's in the fire with it.